Imagine this: a former House Intelligence Committee aide who helped lead a controversial investigation into the FBI is suddenly rumored to be the next director of the nation's most powerful law enforcement agency. What would that mean for the future of the FBI? And how did Kash Patel, a key figure in Trump's inner circle, rise to the top of such a critical position? Kash Patel is not a name you hear every day, but his role in American politics has been nothing short of extraordinary. A former national security advisor, Patel was a loyal ally of Donald Trump throughout his presidency. He played a significant part in the Trump administration's battles against what many saw as the deep state, especially during the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. But what if we told you that Patel's rise didn't stop there? What if the next FBI director could have been none other than Kash Patel himself? The position of FBI director is one of the most powerful roles in the United States. Tasked with leading the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the director shapes national security, counterterrorism efforts, and critical law enforcement policies. But it's also a position that demands trust, integrity, and a level of independence. So why would Trump even consider someone like Kash Patel a figure known for his fierce loyalty and political views? In this video, we'll dive deep into Kash Patel's controversial rise to power, his close ties with Trump, and the shocking reasons why he could have been appointed as FBI director. Stick with us until the end, because we'll reveal some lesser-known facts about Patel's career, and you might just be surprised by what we uncover. Welcome to Craze TV, where we break down the biggest stories with a twist. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Before we talk about the potential appointment of Kash Patel as FBI director, it's important to understand how he came to be so closely linked to Donald Trump in the first place. Patel's journey into Trump's inner circle wasn't just a result of his political career, it was about loyalty, timing, and a shared mission to challenge the establishment. Kash Patel first caught Trump's attention through his work on the House Intelligence Committee. As a staffer, he played a key role in investigating what many saw as the politically charged Russia probe. Patel, a fierce critic of the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election, worked tirelessly to push back against the narrative that many believed had been spun by federal agencies, especially the FBI. His work was controversial, but earned him the trust of those within Trump's camp who believed that the deep state was working against them. Before long, Patel's dedication to the president's cause caught the eye of Trump himself. In 2017, Patel was appointed to a top position at the National Security Council. But it didn't stop there. Patel's rise continued when he became the Deputy Director of National Intelligence in 2019. In this role, Patel was involved in reshaping the intelligence community to better align with Trump's views and priorities. He played a significant role in declassifying documents related to the Russia investigation, further fueling his relationship with the president. But what made Patel stand out to Trump was his unwavering loyalty. While many in the administration kept their distance from Trump's most controversial moves, Patel was right there, always ready to back him up. Whether it was defending Trump's decisions on national security or challenging the FBI, Patel was never afraid to take a stand. In an administration where loyalty was prized above all else, Patel's fierce support made him a standout figure. Despite Patel's relatively low profile compared to other members of the Trump administration, his behind-the-scenes work was vital. His ability to navigate the complex world of national security and his loyalty to Trump set him apart. And this, above all, made Patel a trusted figure in Trump's inner circle, a circle where loyalty was not just valued but rewarded. Loyalty to Donald Trump was perhaps the most important quality that Kash Patel brought to the table. From the very beginning of his involvement with the Trump administration, Patel demonstrated a deep commitment to supporting the president's agenda, no matter the cost. For Trump, loyalty was everything. In an era of constant political attacks and media scrutiny, having people who would consistently defend him became crucial. And Patel, without hesitation, proved to be one of his most loyal allies. One of the key areas where Patel showed his unwavering loyalty was in the Russia investigation. As the probe into Russian interference in the 2016 election unfolded, Patel became a vocal critic of the investigation, especially its impact on Trump. While many members of the Trump administration walked a fine line on the issue, Patel was clear and unapologetic in his stance. He worked closely with the Republican-controlled House Intelligence Committee to challenge the narrative being pushed by those investigating Trump, often accusing the FBI and other agencies of overstepping their bounds. Patel's advocacy for Trump during the Russia probe didn't just stop with rhetoric. Behind the scenes, he played an active role in investigating what he saw as corruption within the intelligence community. His efforts to declassify key documents were part of his broader push to expose what he believed to be politically motivated attacks against the president. Patel's actions aligned perfectly with Trump's stance that the Russia investigation was a witch hunt designed to undermine his presidency. But Patel's support for Trump wasn't just about defending him against political attacks. His background in intelligence also positioned him as someone capable of leading critical national security roles, including the FBI. With experience in counterterrorism, intelligence analysis, and national security, Patel had built a career that suited the demands of high-level government roles. As Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Patel had already proven himself to be capable of navigating complex security issues, making him a potential candidate for an intelligence-based position like FBI Director. His combination of hands-on intelligence experience, a clear pro-Trump stance, and a reputation for challenging the so-called deep state gave Patel an edge. His readiness to stand by Trump, especially when it came to issues like the Russia investigation, showed a level of loyalty and confidence that could make him a powerful figure within any federal agency. Before we talk about why Trump might have considered Kash Patel for the role of FBI director, we need to address the massive public reaction to the idea. While Patel was a staunch ally of the president, his potential appointment to such a powerful position didn't sit well with everyone. Critics were quick to question his qualifications for the job. The FBI director is not just another political appointee. It's a position that requires years of law enforcement experience, a deep understanding of the law, and the ability to maintain the Bureau's independence from political influence. Patel, however, had little to no experience in law enforcement, which led many to wonder whether he was truly fit for such a critical role. Critics also questioned Patel's motivations. Having worked so closely with Trump and so openly supporting his political agenda, some believe Patel's loyalty might cloud his judgment as FBI director. Would he be able to lead the FBI without being seen as a political pawn of the president? Many feared that Patel, a figure deeply embedded in Trump's circle, might use the role to further the president's interests rather than uphold the agency's core mission of impartial justice and national security. The idea of appointing someone with such overt political ties to lead an agency meant to be apolitical sparked controversy across the political spectrum. Patel's past also posed significant challenges. His involvement in the Russia investigation, where he took an active role in discrediting the FBI's actions, would have raised red flags for many. The FBI is tasked with overseeing investigations into serious national security threats, and his role in undermining the Russia probe could be seen as a conflict of interest. Even within Trump's own party, some would have questioned whether Patel's outspoken positions on these issues would alienate him from the very people he would need to work with to run the FBI effectively. Here is the paragraph with punctuation removed, and only full stops used where needed. The public reaction was swift and loud, with many expressing doubts about Patel's ability to lead such a crucial agency without becoming overly partisan. These concerns were not just about his qualifications. They also centered around his loyalty to Trump and how that might influence his decisions as FBI director. Could Patel separate his political ties from the job, or would his appointment to the FBI position be seen as a further politicization of the agency? These questions lingered as the possibility of his nomination loomed large. Before we talk about what an appointment of Kash Patel to FBI director would have meant for the Bureau, it's important to consider the potential impact on the agency itself. The FBI is one of the most influential institutions in the U.S. government, responsible for handling everything from counterterrorism to criminal investigations. But under Patel's leadership would the focus of the FBI shift? His background and outspoken political views suggest that such a transition could significantly alter the agency's direction. Patel's reputation for challenging the status quo, particularly during the Russia investigation, could have made him a director who would push back against what he viewed as bias within the FBI. His appointment might have been seen as a move to reshape the agency to better align with Trump's priorities that were often at odds with traditional law enforcement practices. There were concerns that under Patel, the FBI might move away from its neutral stance on political matters, perhaps focusing more on undermining perceived political enemies or advancing Trump's broader agenda. This fits squarely into Trump's broader strategy during his presidency. Trump was often at odds with many parts of the federal government, including the FBI, which he frequently accused of bias and corruption. Appointing a loyalist like Patel could have been Trump's way of gaining greater control over the FBI, ensuring that the agency's direction aligned with his administration's goals. Given Patel's clear allegiance to the president, it's not hard to imagine why Trump would want him in charge of an agency that had at times openly opposed him. But what does this say about Trump's views on the FBI? For much of his presidency, Trump's relationship with the Bureau was strained, particularly after the appointment of Robert Mueller to lead the Russia probe. Trump repeatedly called the FBI corrupt, and he believed that many of its leaders were part of a deep state that sought to undermine his presidency. Appointing someone like Patel, who was fiercely loyal and critical of the FBI's leadership, could have been Trump's way of neutralizing a potential threat within the agency. By appointing a close ally, Trump might have been trying to ensure that the FBI would no longer be an institution working independently of his will. For Trump, this could have been a strategic move, placing someone in charge who not only shared his views, but also had the authority to carry out his vision for national security and law enforcement. Whether or not this would have been good for the FBI, however, remains a matter of intense debate. As we consider the idea of Kash Patel becoming FBI director, we must first acknowledge the unlikely nature of such an appointment. While Patel certainly gained significant influence during the Trump administration, the reality of him stepping into the role of leading the FBI presents a number of challenges. Despite his loyalty to Trump, his lack of traditional law enforcement experience made the prospect of him leading one of the most powerful agencies in the country seem improbable to many. Even Trump's own supporters would likely have hesitated to back someone so politically tied to the president for such a critical independent role. For the FBI, having a director who is so closely linked to a sitting president would have been a monumental shift. The FBI is designed to operate with a level of autonomy from political influence, ensuring that its investigations are carried out impartially and without bias. An appointment like Patel's, based on loyalty rather than traditional qualifications, could have raised serious concerns about the integrity of the Bureau. How would the agency function if it were led by someone who had such strong political ties to the president, particularly one who had so openly criticized its leadership and work? Would Patel have been able to separate his political beliefs from his duties as the head of the FBI? The potential appointment also speaks volumes about the state of the relationship between law enforcement and politics during Trump's presidency. From the beginning of his administration, Trump was vocal about his dissatisfaction with the FBI, especially after the launch of the Russia investigation. His repeated criticisms of the agency and its leadership culminated in a desire to install someone who could reshape it to his liking. By nominating someone like Kash Patel, Trump would have been signaling a desire to place the FBI under the direct influence of his administration. While many of his critics would have viewed this as a dangerous politicization of the Bureau, others would have seen it as a necessary move to restore trust in an agency they believed had become too politically motivated. The implications of such an appointment are significant. If Patel had been named FBI director, it might have set a precedent for future presidents to appoint loyalists to positions within law enforcement agencies, further blurring the lines between political power and the independence of institutions that are supposed to operate outside of politics. It would have marked a shift in how the public viewed the FBI not as an impartial body, but as a political tool that serves at the pleasure of the president. This could have led to long-term consequences for the relationship between law enforcement and the public, with many questioning the FBI's ability to function fairly and independently. In the end, the likelihood of Patel's appointment to the FBI directorship remains a question of what could have been. While Trump certainly considered Patel for the role, the public and institutional pushback, combined with Patel's lack of traditional qualifications, made it a difficult reality to imagine. But the speculation around this potential appointment reveals deeper concerns about the role of law enforcement in modern American politics. It serves as a reminder of the constant tension between political loyalty and the need for impartiality within institutions that are meant to serve the people, not any one individual or party. If you found this video insightful, make sure to hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Craze TV for more deep dives into politics, history, and the people shaping our world. Your support means a lot to us, and we'll be back soon with more content that keeps you informed and engaged. Thanks for watching.